going to talk to somebody that's outside of what we just said? No, don't. Please don't. Please don't take, please don't talk to someone just because you feel the need you have to help them. Deny things. It's fine. It can happen. They'll understand. We deny people every day. And there's thousands of people that deny everything every single day because they know they're not going to be able to give them what they hope for. And if you can't give somebody what they hope for, you're causing reputation threats to your business. So for me, I already know in mind that when I start working and I start nurturing a lead, because it all starts at marketing. If you're not getting the lead, you're not going to get the sale. So if I know that a company's doing $1 million, they have 3 vans on the road, okay, and they are on billboards. I will take this whole family out to dinner.
Yeah.
Now let me give you an example of a phone call that I will not take. If it's a 2-day-old registered website on whois.com, is everybody here familiar with Whois?
Yeah.
It just shows you the date the website was registered. Why would I not want to continue talking to a lead if the website was registered 2 days ago? Still in this Google sandbox. You can't do any SEO, so that's thrown out the bat. They're probably a new business. Double check though. Sometimes they have different websites, so you want to double check that. And number 3 is if they're a new business, they likely have no capital to do anything. So you're going to spend time creating this godly proposal that I'm going to show you, and you don't want to spend time if you don't have to, even though it's very quick, right? So this person's 2 days old on Whois. I always check Ahrefs and Whois, because Ahrefs will tell you if they have domains referring to their website or any type of action going on. If there's no action going on, it means they're too new to pay for your services. So 2-day-old, and they sell teddy bears on Shopify. And they found me through YouTube, Facebook ads video. Worst lead you could ever send me. Now, you gotta also think of where the lead is coming from, right? Because we all spend time around people that make as much money as we do. So if a friend of yours sends you a lead, and they're broke, and they're, whatever it is, I hate to say it that way, or they're not, the person that you look up to, it's likely that that lead's gonna waste your time. Yeah. I'll give you guys an example. My friend who used to do t-shirt printing, he's not, unfortunately, he has mindset restraints that don't let him succeed, and he'll send me leads. And every time I talk to one of these guys, they tell me that they don't have money, but they want to learn what I do. And unfortunately, this is great because everybody paid here, but if you guys didn't pay, we wouldn't be doing this, right? Why would I do this out of my Saturday afternoon to do this and teach you guys my business so you can steal my customers, right? Why would I do that to somebody? And unfortunate reality of it is you got to look at the source of the lead. If the lead came in from a Google search, if the lead came in from a Facebook, you got to really start to think about that. Is it worth your time to pursue that lead? Because what I'm going to teach you here, there's time involved. And if it's a qualified lead, I swear to God, I put this person on a pedestal until we close the deal. So let's talk about if that person is a good lead and you feel as if you're ready to take them to the next step. And marketing and stuff, you find these leads through networking, events, referrals, or people that you know, family members. We're not talking about getting leads, we're talking about nurturing the sales process here. So once you get the lead at an event, let's say you get into an event, get a quick 5 to 10 minute phone call. That's it. You're not trying to get on a phone call and ask them everything about their business and trying to close them on anything. You're collecting information. If they call in, it's 5 to 10 minutes, right? If you schedule a time with them in person, that you can skip right to step 3, which is discovery. This is usually when you meet in person. Okay? This step right here, though, which is the phone interview, why would we want to spend 5 minutes with them there when we're on the phone?
You want to make sure it's not a BS lead.
Not a BS lead. So you're driving, you got a coffee, there's cops behind you, right? Yeah. Terrible time to get the phone call if they call you then, right? You never want to go, what's the best way that I can grow your business? How are you getting leads now? You don't want to do that because you're not focused and you're going to get into accident.
I've done that before.
I know, me too. Everybody does that. I do it every day. And it just happens. So the phone interview, you're asking them a few questions. Tell me about your business. right? You're looking for the signs here that this person can pay you for your program. And if they tell you that their business is registered yesterday and they're in a $250,000 debt, and they're hoping that your SEO can, bring them thousands of leads, who's going to bring them to discovery from there? No one. I hope not. Don't bring them to discovery if they tell you that you're their promised land, right? Or if they tell you that they've been in business for 7 years and they have hundreds of customers and they have 30 employees and they're very proud that they're sponsoring the women's volleyball tournament at the high school. Who's taking them to discovery call? Jason is, right? At that moment, what you're looking for is the size of the business. If they have employees or not. You always want a company with employees. You never want a one-man band, which is fine. We have one-man bands, but I'm talking about the most high-value lead for my type of business and your type of business too. And you also want to just check and see their revenue, right? If you can touch on that, if you meet in person, if it's your first time, maybe don't ask that, but kind of get a feel of what they're doing right now. Yeah. And once they check off on this phone interview and you've really got to understand that they're qualified to pay you for your services and that it's going to work, because just paying you for your services does not mean it's going to work, right? Any startup can pay me $10,000, but it's not going to work. And you're in it for it working. You're not in it to make money. Because if you're in it to make money, you might as well just get a job. You're building wealth here. You're not building income. So when you get the screen check here, now at the end of this meeting, do you email them and propose them times to get on another call? No. You say, great. Now is not the best time, and I know it's not the best for you. You may have a very busy schedule. Can we set something next week? Maybe a 30-minute call as to where I can understand a little bit more about your business and see if we have the products or solutions to help you. How does that sound? Intimidating? It sounds like they're going to get sold something? No, these people got into communication with you at this step right here. Why?
Because they knew you were good at what you do.
They know you're good at what you do. They need services. They need someone to do this, or else they wouldn't be on the phone with you. People are busy and they value their time, especially a qualified lead. The Facebook ads guy, that guy might not value his time, but these people value their time. So when they're on the phone with you and you're very quick and you're not doing this right and this and this and this and this, you've just wasted a ton of time. But more importantly, these people are on the phone with you because they're interested. So if you're the right solution and you propose something that's easy for them to understand, they're going to convert. But we got to make sure we're setting this in stone. So at the phone interview, you're setting a meeting for an actual discovery. All right? So this is 5 to 10 minutes. You're bullshitting on the phone. Yeah, I went to school with Nancy, your daughter. She's a great girl. Played a lot of hockey together in college. And no, man, I'm just glad you reached out. Now's not the best time because right now, unfortunately, I'm driving and I'm sure you're busy too. Why don't we set a time to where I can really see if our products and services help you? Yeah. Always you're going to get a yes. Yeah. You know when you're going to get a no? When you ask dumbass questions in this meeting. Are you using WordPress? No. Tell me more about your business. Tell me what is your goal, and when is a better time for you? That's it. Just quick 10 minutes. And once again, if you meet them in person, they probably skip to this discovery. So let me give you an example of when you meet somebody in person at a Chamber of Commerce event. Right?
Yeah. Was that what you
let's say, hey Karen, my name is Ruan. How are you?
Good.
What do you do? Just whatever.
I'm a painter.
Great, sounds good. We have a painting program that helps painters like you. Here's some leads, blah, 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 blah. And you start chit-chatting with them, Small talk, coffee talk, bull crap, whatever. At the event of building the relationship, you just ask, Karen, we should meet up so I can share with you some of my ideas that's going to flood you with painting leads. Right? And if you have a little bit of reputation, they're going to say yes. If you're a sketchball and you have bad reputation, what are they going to say? No. They're going to say no. But if you have a little bit of reputation, you're wearing something decent, you're not wearing a stained wife beater, you're wearing something decent, you're professional, you stand up straight, you shake hands, and you just politely ask, they're going to say, yeah, sure, I have 30 minutes, let's do it, right?
Question. Okay, so me and him have been about this. So you noticed we had our Instinct Marketing shirts on yesterday. When you guys go out to that, are you wearing a branded shirt or?
It's always better if you're wearing a branded shirt.
Okay.
Because the branded gives the customer safety.
Okay.
That you're going to be around for the long term.
Okay.
So now, Kara, great. What's your schedule like next week? Kara and I agree on something. I physically pull out my phone and I create a calendar invite and I say, Kara, what's your email? Now Kara gets the calendar invite to his phone and now it's on both of our schedules so you don't forget. Because what does the calendar do? It reminds you of the event coming up, right? So now we have this together. If we're on the phone, for me, I have an account manager in which she kind of knows who I'm talking to if I'm in the office. So she'll create the calendar invite with the sales meeting with the client. If you're on the phone, hold up over right away and you set the meeting with the customer in your calendar as fast as possible. Because you want to know the fastest way to lose a lead? Don't show up to the discovery meeting, right?
Yeah.
They're not going to take you if you don't show up.
Yeah.
So at the discovery, right here, you have to set up the calendar in your phone. You have to do it. Set up calendar in phone. Now, are you going to use jasongraver@hotmail.com?
Everybody, the guest posters do.
Who here does not have a company domain as an email? I think we all do. I think if we're all educated enough to pay the money that you guys paid to be here today, we have a company email. Right?
It's wild how many do.
Are you going to send it at John 420 all day at gmail.com? You know what I mean? You're not going to send that. You want to send a company branded email. All right? Now, here's where it gets critical. So the discovery meeting. You're doing 5% of the talking. The customer is doing 95% of the talking. And you're asking open-ended questions about their business. And more specific, I'm going to give you the questions to ask right now because these questions will be reiterated in the proposal that we create when we're ready to present our services. Because we're not presenting here. If you present here, you're losing the deal. Why? People are relationship driven. By the time we get to the proposal, we've already talked 4 times, right? If you go to any company with any sales experience in the world, they will not try to close you the first day because they don't know enough about you to make sure their products are going to work for you. So at this point, we're asking, what are your goals? And you're taking notes here. This one we asked, what are your goals? Just bullshit, small talk. This one we're asking, what are your goals? And you're taking extensive notes, right? What are your goals? Well, right now we have 14 people in our agency, and I'd really like to get to 50 people in our agency. And the reason why we want to get there is because if I have 50 people, then I have more free time. And what am I doing when we're getting that out of the client? You're creating ammunition to throw back at them when they give you an objection. If they do at the end. We almost never get an objection. And then you're getting this ammunition, you're writing paragraphs of their goals. Get into it. So if Carrie said, my goal is to get to 5 staff by the end of the year. Well, I'm going to ask him, how do you plan to do that? And then I'm going to take notes. What's stopping you from doing that? And then I'm going to take notes. And I'm going to get into his goals more and more and more because this person is on their third phone call with you because they have a goal. And they are trying to see if you are professional enough to help them reach their goal because they're already going to spend the money. The money's not objection here. They wouldn't have gotten here if they were thinking money, right? If they were thinking, oh, I don't have the money for this, they would have never gotten here. So don't even think about the money. They would have never wasted 3 hours with you throughout the time you're doing this. If they were thinking about money, they're really thinking about, is this guy or girl professional enough and experienced enough and has a plan that works for me? They want to find that out. And you got to make sure you ring that little cherry over their head so they have to keep trying to get it. And once you present it, they can't say no because you already have way too much data. So what are your goals, all right? Second question. What's stopping you from getting to that goal? Right? What's stopping you from getting to that goal? Get emotional about it. Well, I have a staff member that is very negative, this and this and this. We're not getting enough online leads. Salespeople keep turning over. I just don't know. I'm just stuck, right? I'm just stuck. Okay? Then you want to ask, where are you now? You now. Where are you now? Well, I have, this. I'm doing 800,000 in revenue. We have 14 staff. We have some offices here in Connecticut. We would like to get to 2.5 million next year. This and this and this. And now you have, in these 3 simple questions, you have enough ammunition to sell anything to anyone. Right? Because as long as you know what their goal is, right? As long as you know what's stopping them from getting to that goal and where they are right now in relationship to that goal, this can go for anything. I can sell you guys this glass table if you were the right prospect with these 3 questions. Right? Where are you now? What are your goals with your office space? Oh, well, I want a place people can come to and work together, right? Okay, great. In my head, I have a glass table in mind for this guy. What's stopping you from creating office space that people really like? Our furniture's shit. This table right here, it's wood. It's not as great as it should be. People don't really feel comfortable coming to work. I don't have the money, this and this and this. And where is the office space now on a scale of 1 to 10 on where you want it to be? Like a 2, right? How positioned am I to recommend a table? Very positioned, right? So you're just asking discovery. And now you want to get into the technical of where they are, right? So then ask, what are you doing now on your website and digital marketing? They will tell you everything at this point because you've built the relationship to ask a question like that. If I said, hey, Care, how you doing? Ruan, I do painting marketing. Do you use WordPress? Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
Your first time meeting. It's just not going to work. Even if we did talk for a little bit, people are not going to tell you what they want because they know you're a salesperson and they know that you're going to try to recommend them something.
Or if you talk too fast and you get nervous, that's another. Before you even say anything, they'll notice that often and they'll leave.
Exactly, and that's why here you can't talk because you get excited. When people say, I really want to figure out a way to, migrate my email with my WordPress website. Well, I have a solution for that. Don't talk. Just stay quiet. Take notes. Don't present until the next call. Because the next call, this flips. It's 95% you and 5% the customer. All they're doing is making a decision. Is this clear? Is anybody seeing value in this?
Oh, I'm seeing a lot of it. If you notice, he's giving me his looks because he knows like a lot of the shit I do.
He
so
does the 95%, and I'm like, do we have to flip that?
Yeah, so I'll get all excited and customers like, potential clients like this.
He whips out the business cards like that.
And that's our excitement because we're good at what we do.
Yeah.
And
Well, it's good. At least you like what you do, right?
Yeah.
So you're halfway there.
Yeah.
And at this point right here, where are you now with your digital marketing?
Yeah, we didn't get that.
You're gonna get these answers that you're gonna want to say something to, and you cannot. My website is slow. Right? Slow down. Let them talk. What else? Get it out of them. So your website is slow. What else? I don't know how many leads I'm getting online.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's definitely a concern. What else? Well, our competitors are ranking above us. That doesn't sound good. What else? Our pay-per-click campaign, I don't know who's running it, but they're not doing a good job. Okay, what else? Our social media, the guy that's posting on social media is posting irrelevant things in our industry. Okay, what else? I just don't know if I'm getting what I'm paying for these digital marketing services. What else? Do you see the fucking power in that?
Yeah.
What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? They're forced to give you answers.
Yeah, it's just like.
Whereas, how's a question like this? Are you using WordPress? Someone answer that.
Yes.
It's not open-ended.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's the point of that? There's no point of that question because the
Yeah.
customer is going to go, yeah.
It's not open-ended.
And you're going to go, okay. It's like you're working like a checklist for a bill payment.
There's not a potential pain point either.
At all. At all. And you want to go into what else are you doing now that you're frustrated with. And once you have all of this, keep in mind, you've been taking diligent notes, right? This one trick is going to be worth the whole money you guys spent here. So at this point, you schedule a presentation meeting, right? So at this point, you go, Care, I think I've got enough to go back to my team and put together a custom plan for KP Painting Services. Okay? Once again, Care, I think I've got enough information from this phone call to go back to my marketing manager and create a custom plan for KP Painting. Is that clear?
How long should the discovery call be?
Hour. 35, 45, hour. Depends on the client. If you already understand their industry a lot, it can be 20 minutes. But if the client's like, here's the thing, if you have a lot of reputation, this doesn't even have to happen. You know? This is for, if the client doesn't know you, they came from an online lead or whatever it may be. If Care tells Will that I'm the best SEO I've ever met, you know what that conversation sounds like? Will, it's 10 grand. Okay. That's why we want to focus on referral and service-based business rather than, hey, Will, my name is Ruan from Develop Market, you're painting SEO, blah, blah, blah. And then you just look way, way, way off. But if it's a referral, it's a one-call close. All right?
Repeat that sentence again. You said, I think I've got enough.
I think I've gotten enough information from today's phone call to go back to my marketing team and put together a custom plan for your business. And you don't stop. You then say, I'd like to schedule another meeting with you. Remember, we don't send them an email scheduling a meeting. We ask that call. And you say, I want to schedule another meeting with you, Care, on Tuesday at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time. How's that sound for you? So I can present this plan to you.
That sounds good.
Right? So now the schedule's here, and now you're at the close. Your presentation, close/presentation. Now, one beautiful thing happens between this call and this call. You guys want to know what it is?
They talk about it.
The client looks at your website. Visual visitor tells me this, by the way. They research you. And what did we say about reviews back there? Right?
Yeah.
But here's the more magic part that you do. If you guys are implementing everything I say, it's going to increase your conversion. Because you've been taking oriented notes, we send the client an email in between this meeting. Mr. Customer, thanks for the call today. I really got to learn a lot about abcpainting.com. Just so we're on the same page, here's what I heard on today's phone call. Copy and paste notes. Right?
Yeah.
What's that going to demonstrate?
Shows that you really took the time to listen.
You're fucking listening. And this person has just reconfigured their whole mindset that they're not wasting their time giving somebody information about their business that's not going to propose something that makes sense to them.
Yeah.
So now this person thinks, actually they know, and it looks really great if you just take notes in this format.
Yeah.
Now they know that you've been listening to them.
Yeah.
And they feel great about it.
Yeah.
And every single time we send this email, you know what the response we get is? That's exactly right, Ruan. We look forward to seeing you next meeting. Every time. I've never gotten somebody that didn't respond. And I'm going to show you a few examples in there. And now we're positioned, because we took notes here, to fill out our Google Slides with these notes that we've already taken. And what we're going to do at that meeting, at this meeting right here, where the slides are here, we're going to say to the customer, and we're going to go through it in real life example. At this meeting, they're going to show up on time because you've added it to the calendar. They're going to show up on time because they know you've been listening. And now you're going to have a digital marketing slide deck based on their problems with your package solution. And at this point right here, as long as you show up and you know basic English, you're going to get a 95% close rate as long as you follow what I'm going to say. So the slides is, I have the template here for you guys, and the slides is going to cover everything that's inclusive in your digital marketing products, right? So the website redesign, and every objection they can think of, you can respond to what I've said before, right? Website redesign. We're going to give you a website that's completely focused on generating leads for a painting business from thousands of user testing examples and experiences, right? Ask an objection to that. Do you guys own my website? That you're going to get that. And you're going to be like, well, we don't own your website. You still own your domain. We just build it on our CMS so you can cut the learning time we have to building your own website. Right? Right off the bat, now the person knows they're not paying for your time to learn their CMS. Okay? Do I pay for hosting? Actually, hosting is lifetime. Right? Tons of ways to overcome objections. And then the last of the slide here you're going to show them your proposed solution, whether it's $3,500 up front and $2,000 a month, whatever it is that you're proposing, however you price it, and you are going to physically ask them for the business here. And I mean physically ask them for the business. You're not going to assume that they're going to say yes. You're not going to let them get off the phone. You're going to say, okay, you know what, John? Are we doing business together? And then that's when you get the answer. And you're speaking 95% here, and you're going 5%. Now, if the client says that if the client asks questions at where you propose your price, they're gonna convert. You just have to make sure that you give them a good answer. So if they say everything looks great, I'm just scared that when I move my website over to you guys, I'm gonna lose SEO rankings. What does that sound like? It sounds like somebody who's committed to doing this. They just want to make sure. And so just make them feel comfortable when they start asking those questions at the end of the proposal. And the cool thing about this is this slide deck is going to be the same thing every time because you're only selling what? One service every time. So it's going to allow your salespeople, if you have people that are selling this, or yourself to just get better every single time. And the most important part is you're going to touch on every single piece of their business: social media, website, SEO, digital marketing, advanced analytics and everything, chatbot on their website. So when they search Neil Patel online, there's nothing that you're not doing that they are, or that that you're not doing that Neil is. So in this level, you're reconfiguring their goals, right? There's a slide on the deck that literally says, here's the goals that you told me on our first call. Here's the challenges you told me on the first call. Here's where you are now, what you told me on the first call. Because remember, we have the notes. And then they're going to say, yeah, that's great. And then you're going to say, here's our solution, our lead generation solution for painting XYZ.
So yeah, I had a question. So say that they have WordPress, they have, I don't know, weed, it sucks, okay? And you say, we're going to move it over to Duda now.
Mm-hmm.
So, and they say, all right, I'm worried about the SEO rankings. And we move them over, and then they say, after like 8 months, they're done with this. So what are you taking away after your services are done from them?
What do you mean by that?
So like they'll still have access to the Duda account?
Yes.
Okay, but like maybe like all the plugins, well, all right, well.
Yeah, no, those will all stay the same.
Okay.
Then what you do is at that point is you just move them down to a management package at $200 a month or whatever it is that you charge.
Okay.
You just say, you know what, great, I appreciate you doing business with Developmart. Here's the exit survey to see why you're canceling, so you know data and you have benchmark. And then you say, what we'd like to do is we're still going to give you access to your website because it is hosting for life.
Yeah.
There's no point of you having to pay for a host and a website. We've already built this one.
Yeah.
What we are going to do is we're going to lower your rate plan from $2,000 a month to $100 a month and just give you access to it and make sure that it's up and running properly and have the whatever it is that you want to say there.
Okay. Do we put that in the contract saying?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, because that's something I can see someone saying.
Oh yeah. Well, what happens when we're done? Do I still have my website? That's the only objection I ever get.
Do you ever get the objection at the closing presentation where, so a lot of the times I've noticed that like even after the presentation, it's not as good as this, but I'd say like maybe 60, 70% depending on the client, and then you still get the freaking client always, the major objection, oh, this sounds good, but it's just not in my budget at the moment, or.
You fucked up here.
Okay. Yeah.
It's just like hiring a staff member that all of a sudden wants to start bashing the boss in front of the employees.
Okay.
You should have never got to hear with that person. And the indications of that is right here. Because if I let this Facebook person that found a YouTube video and wants to talk about their teddy bear Shopify store, if I let them go through this whole process and I'm here and I present something crazy and they say that, what can I do about it? They actually don't have the money. But I just wasted 7 hours because you got to prepare this. 7 hours on this prospect that was never going to be a customer anyways. They were just wasting my time to see what I can do for them. Because people, you will get that. Startups are always looking, how do I get some information here? How do I get some information there? How do I call this guy and steal his time? That's like someone in a low-income place talking to a lawyer, right? They know the lawyer is expensive, but if they can call and get a few minutes, they're going to. So you've got to stop that right here. And part of that is having the discipline to say no. And what's the easiest way to say no? By niching down. Because if people know you only work with A, B, and C, they're not going to get offended and try to go after your reputation when you tell them no. So if a company calls in and they have a CBD oil company, I'm going to tell them, look, I appreciate you thinking of DevelopMark. Unfortunately, we only help contractors with their internet marketing services, and I'd be happy to send you a referral to another agency that can help you. Something along those lines. So if you get to this step, K, and they actually are a qualified lead, and they actually don't have enough money, then what you do, and I've had that actually happen to me recently. A guy couldn't afford, I think it was like $1,500 a month for PC and stuff like that. Then what you do is you follow up with them, and you follow up with them in the future, because they were qualified at one time. Trust me, when you take somebody through this, they think you spent 400 days preparing.
Yeah.
So they're going to appreciate it, and they're going to call you back, and we have that happen all the time. So yes, you understand what they're saying. Don't say that's bullshit. You have money. Sign up. You know, you're going to say, I completely understand.
I'll wait for you to finish.
I would say, I completely understand, Mr. Customer. What if we worked out the prices in the rate plan? That's the first thing you go to. You try to lower services, therefore it's a decreasing price. What if we took out social media and we reduced the rate by $250 a month? Is that an option for you? Ask! And if they go no, then go, okay, how about we take off the PPC campaign, and then this way you're not spending budget, but we still redo your website and your SEO. And they go, no. And then I go, okay, what if we just take off the SEO, the PPC, and the social media, and you're paying a fourth of what I just proposed to you? That could work, right? Okay, let's do it. Sounds good, send me the agreement. And that's where you need to physically ask people and get very clear with your communication. If you're not getting a yes or no, if you're getting a maybe, it's not a yes or no. You need a physical yes or no out of that person's mouth.
Are you taking payment at the meeting?
Yes.
Yes.
So we're going to talk about that right now.
What's the time in between each meeting?
Great question. Depends on your scheduling, both people's scheduling. So I try to do this within a week, if possible. Weekends don't count, so 7 days. So I'll try to do 7 business days with that person. But generally speaking, that person will hold off talking to anybody else if you do these parts right. They won't talk to anybody else. Once you give them the business professionalism of all this, they're going to see that you know what the hell you're talking about. And if you get on this call, and you ask really dumb questions, really amateur, less than $10,000 a year, revenue questions, like it's so cool that your business does this. One day I hope to have a business that has that many. Like, you just don't say that shit. You know what I mean? You just want to ask them clear-cut questions. You don't want it. You want to be here with the business owner. You know what I mean? And if they see that, they're going to take you very seriously when it comes to this point to ask for the business.
You said the other day you mirror everything that your client would ever do.
Oh yeah.
If he's going to pay you.
Of course.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's Dale Carnegie 101.
Yeah.
And just to be clear, you have one phone meeting, the discovery is also a phone meeting?
It can be. If it's national, yes, it'll be a phone meeting. I like discovery in person.
And then the closing is in person.
Correct.
One phone call, 2 in person.
Yep. One phone call, or unless you're in person, you skip the phone call and go right to discovery. And if you have an office space, which is really the key component here, the same thing that happens in sports where the home field gets an advantage happens here in the business too. So if they come to the office, they physically get to touch and see what you do, especially when a client comes in here and I have a whole team of people like this.
Yeah.
It gives them confidence that you're going to be around for the long term. If you're not picking up phone calls and you're late, is that going to give them confidence?
No.
That's like if you went to the lot and drove a Civic and it started breaking down right when you were test driving it. Would it give you confidence that it's going to last for the next 10 years when you buy it? No. So you got to give them a concrete confidence here. Show up on time. Make sure that you're always the one in proactive communication. So when it comes time to propose here, they're going to say, I do. And right here, next steps from here, then you go on to onboarding, and we've already talked about onboarding and everything like that. They get that big email from your account managers and you introducing, and you collect credit card information, send proposal, all that stuff. Does this make sense?
Do you usually go to the company, or do you ask them to come to your office?
They usually recommend coming here, but I always offer to go there as a courtesy.
On which side?
This would be discovery,
Discovery, right?
or even close/presentation. Now, a lot of the times your discovery is going to be on the phone, though, because people don't have time. And if we're dealing with somebody on the shoreline, which is an hour from here and still in Connecticut, I'm not going to I'm not going to drive that far. I don't think they will either to do discovery. There's too much risk there for my time. Now, if they're a very qualified lead, yeah, I'm going to go there.
So your sales cycle is basically 7 days, right? You know, this the full business week. Do you ever sort of gauge the waters during discovery if they're ready just to start like right away? Maybe it's like, you know, it's going to take me 6 hours to build out the slides. I'm going to make sure it's exactly what you need. But is there, you know, do you ever build out an incentive for them to like, hey, you know, we'll cut off this amount for you. I'll give you this bonus if you just sign up right now, or we can go through what everyone else.
Yes. Yep. And in discovery meeting, you can add what is your timeline on getting something started like this, and they'll typically tell you. Well, I'm hiring a marketing manager Monday, and we need someone to, you know, give her stuff to do. I love those clients. If you have a client that has a marketing manager, those are always the best customers because the owner is not stressed out about money. If he's paying a marketing manager, that's what's getting taken care of. They need an agency to help her do stuff.
You ever go on the whiteboard, and when you actually talk about the timeline, you actually go up, stand up, because it makes that authority feeling for the client, and actually plot out an actual timeline and say, we're right here, you want to get this going here, you need to hire a manager here, it's going to take us like 2 to 6 weeks here to do this and that. We are already behind, and you see how important it is to start like right now.
I've never used that, but that's a really good idea. Yeah. No, it's a really good idea.
I'll show you that.
And there is the risk of them not taking action at that time. And like I said, they got on the phone with you for a reason here, you know? It's not like they're just getting on the phone inquiring about digital marketing services and then just not being able to afford it. You know what I mean? If somebody goes into a car dealership, the average person, not the person that goes in to just test drive shit. The average person that's going into a car dealership is actually interested, you know? They go in and they're like, okay, you know, I know I'm gonna talk to a salesperson. I know that's coming. Salespeople have a bad reputation. And then, you know that they're going to do it. All the salesperson has to do is say, here, hold my hand and let me show you the right way to do it. And that's where you build trust and you build authority when you're doing that, right? Now, in here, the less ego, the better. Always, the less ego, the better. You don't have to say how you've ranked #1 for this. You don't have to say any of that. If you focus on them, that's where they will build trust in you because they know too, right? When you're dealing with people with millions, especially companies, do you think that they focus on self-development? Of course they do. They're reading audiobooks, they're reading books, they're reading Dale Carnegie, they know. So when you're babbling on, what do you think goes off in their head? This guy is an inexperienced business person who keeps talking. I'm not going to get to the next step with him and I'm going to stay quiet about it because I have no ego and I'm a millionaire. And you know, why didn't we not take the next step with that guy? Because you don't have the eyes to realize that with that person.
It's kind of like being, it's like going to a doctor. You go in, you're sick, the doctor don't even let you explain what the fuck's going on. And then he's just like, this is that, and that you need this, and this. You looking at him like, dude, I got a fucking runny nose, and you talking about I need heart surgery. And then what happens is fucking malpractice.
And then you got to do the reputation management.
Yep.
And the key component of a doctor is to really analyze what you're sick for, and the same situation is here. And there's nothing better than when we're heard, right? Has anybody ever not been heard in this room? Doesn't feel good. Does not feel good. You always want to be heard. People always want to give their opinion. That's why Twitter exists. People want to give their opinion. You want to be heard. So you know how powerful it is to sit back and let others be heard. Something happens emotionally as a human that people respect it and they see professionalism in that.
Hey, not to cut you off. I'm gonna tell y'all a crazy story, not to cut him off. But I had a practice. It was actually a physical therapy clinic. 11 offices. The lady she reached out to me on LinkedIn. Like I knew her personally. Reached out to me. I didn't do none of this shit. Burnt out 11 fucking an opportunity to do the marketing for 11 fucking clinics. Like I'm sick to this day about it because I knew she was ready to spend money. I was on the phone with her and her husband. It was ready to go, but I did not know this shit. And this shit is, if I would have known this by now, oh my god.
You can still go back.
And y'all can look it up. It's called Tudor Physical Therapy. It's based off in Ohio. And I burnt that the fuck out, bro. But they doing so much better now. But we still keep in contact. So soon wherever she got fucks up, yeah, for sure. I'm gonna do shit the right way.
Yeah, and I've done that with leads too. Sign Pro is one of them. I was talking about that.
Yeah.
And so you're spending 2 to 3 hours here prospecting or networking to get leads. You're spending 10 minutes on the phone interview. You're spending 30 minutes to an hour here. You're spending 1 to 3 hours here. Depends how depth you go with the proposal if it's a big client. So total, you've got 3, 4, let's say, 5, 6 hours and 10 minutes that you spent working on this deal. Can anybody here afford to not sign a deal after working with them for 6 hours? No! You don't have time for that. So you better make sure that you stick with this every single time because it's proven for all of our customers. And Peter Bove is a real life example of Material Promotions, that company that you guys saw payment come through yesterday. This is the exact process that we went through, and it was within 5 business days, a little closer. I knew he was a lead. He was a past customer that we had, so it was warm. I got on a quick phone interview. What's changed in your business? How can I help now? We got into discovery. I physically went to his office, spent an hour with him, making whole banners with him, literally printing stuff, helping him, and just talking about his business. What's changed? How's family? This and this. Tell me about your goals. What do you want us to do? Then I went into closing proposal there because I already knew him, and I talked to him about all of our plans. We didn't even show a slide deck or anything. We shake hands there, and I got confirmed agreement that we're working from there. And when you're going into the close, at this step where your pricing is being demonstrated, and we're going to show you this in real life, and there are the actual slides that you can use. We're asking them right here, after we've just pitched our mouths off, how does this sound to you? So somebody tell me yes or no. How does this sound to you? Great, here's our next steps. So we're working together, yes or no. You know, that type of approach. If you say no, tell me what would make it better. You know, if no, it doesn't sound good. Well, there's a reason as to why they're saying that. And it could have been your presentation. I know it's not going to be your offer after this weekend. So there's something else that you're doing within that sales cycle that's causing that. And unfortunately, people look further than you guys may think. They look further than your eyes. They look further than what you're wearing. You know, they look at everything because they don't want to waste time. So I wanted to show you this really quick before I show you the slides and how we sell this stuff with your new solution, your new productized package or service that you're going to be offering every single time the same way. Anybody have any questions?
So there's the 4 steps, right? That's the full sales cycle for you know, could you possibly rank them in what you feel would be the most important? Like 1, 2, 3, 4 that you feel like this is the most critical that we really got to nail down.
This is the most critical one that you got to nail down, and this one is the most critical one that you got to nail down. Okay. So the phone interview, you know, that can be outsourced honestly to wherever. This part right here, you know, getting leads is hard, but it's really not that hard. If you meet people, as long as you go out and meet people and tell them what you do, you're going to get leads. The key is when you meet somebody in person and they're there to be there and they're not in a rush getting coffee before work, you usually have a good opportunity to speak with them. So this part really isn't that hard. You just got to be a person that's going to talk to people and just genuinely care about them. And then this part, the phone interview, is just a robotized call. It can be very robotized. You're just trying to get an actual sit-down meeting with no distractions. This is very critical because it's going to tell you right away how you're going to do this. So I would say discovery and sales close is the most important part that's in sales related. Then the onboarding and everything like that's different.
I mean, what if the initial part where you're prospecting and screening out leads in that, like, you know, it's 10 times more? I don't know, you're trying to make sure that you probably grow this with like a VP of sales or something, but this is all based on just inbound calls and referrals, right?
No.
You're not doing any cold outreach.
We consider network cold outreach.
Oh, okay.
So what we'll do is we'll go to various BNIs through the state.
Right.
We'll go to various chamber of commerces. We'll ask friends and family. We'll just be in the loop that we're open to taking business to everybody we know. You know, so I make sure that everybody knows what I do. At family parties, at this and this and this, at everything. And then all of a sudden, you know, this is the centralized hub where everybody just sends to everything else. You know, it's like, you know, you gotta go where people are in person because cold does not work. It does. You can get cold, but at the end of the day, people want to see people, especially in this industry. So here is cold, inbound, everything. Referral, you literally go. Let me show you where referral goes. True.
Do you ever upcharge? Like,
For referral?
Say you got referral in your fucking pocket. Throw on a fee that's going to be higher than your other ones.
Yeah,
It has to be
of course.
salesman. Yeah,
of course
salesman.
we do that.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, it's because, you know, if I'm getting a referral from a company that's doing millions, I already know that the referral is also doing millions, and I can offer more services and more advanced stuff to them than I can with somebody who's starting out. So,
You get like a painter referral, you're just going to take out the painter slide deck and just like, hey, thanks for getting together. You might have to just show you some slides exactly what.
it would sound like this. It would sound like, hey, thanks for getting on this call. I think we got enough information to present this to you. Our team spent hours making this presentation deck for your business. And it's funny because when you guys see these slides, it literally looks like you spent hours, and there's small tweaks to make it look like that they are going to see. Mock-ups of their website, different things like that. So, any other questions on this?
Oh, awesome.
All right, let's head into the other room, and I'll show you how to propose this part here, the sales and the closing.